they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power. Over naira, still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you ladder. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh yo yo, my people make we shout. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun diary politico. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh yo yo, this one not day off in mind. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh yo yo, person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh yo yo, my people make you shout. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun diary politico. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh yo yo, this man not day off in mind. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh yo yo.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining me from. It is Maiyegun live, and it is midday too. I am yet to actually see the rage or reaction to the news that the kidnapping of school children that took place in Kaduna yesterday was in fact underreported. I'll tell you what I have heard. Tifnumbu or his government is, they are actually yet to make a statement. Can you believe that? Today is International Women's Day. Agbeke reminded me of that this morning, and then would want me to mention that in my program, and I've decided that, of course, the victims of terrorism in Nigeria, the victims of oppression in Nigeria have been mostly women and children, especially girls. And today, as you are remembering and appreciating all the beautiful, wonderful women in your lives, I'm talking about even your girls, right? Let us also remember those who are facing serious persecution of, different persecutions in Nigeria right now and all over the world, right? And those who are actually facing death, like those we are reporting on today. Thank you for joining me. Read the caption of the broadcast. The description is brief, but the line is going to be opened. Everyone is welcome to join by phoning in. You too can contribute. Thank you. Right now, if you are watching me on Facebook or YouTube, you have this image on your screen. Remember this image. Bring back our children will be the new one. Motide. So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is noon here in Glasgow, east end of Glasgow, right from the Diaspora Radio International, Maiyegun's Diary Political studio in Glasgow. So thanks so much for joining me. Now, yesterday, in fact, it's been like 48 hours that mass kidnapping of Nigerians took place, and there is no single word from Kolu or anybody from his government. It was pretty much like everybody will move on as usual. The outsiders are reacting to the news like, how could they kidnap nearly 300 school children? And Nigeria is like calm. Everyone seems to just be minding their business, moving on like nothing actually happened. Well, you might be moving on or feel like unconcerned. What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do, right? But at least you are not the victim yet, Abi. I bet it that these families, they probably never envisaged that they too will become the victim now. But for those who are smart enough, the Nigeria bad governance and the consequences of bad governance, right, is now the turn by turn Nigeria Limited. Everybody will receive their own shege. I do not wish this on even my worst enemies. Okay, let's go see the reactions of the families of school children that were kidnapped. Now, before we even get to that, again, if you're watching me on Facebook or YouTube, you should have this picture on your screen, right? You see this these two images. They tell the whole story of what happened in Kaduna. Okay, these two. The first image is where the the sandals, shoes of the kidnapped school children in Kaduna. This is what is left of them. On the right were those who were not so lucky. They were gunned down by the terrorists during the abduction process. It lasted for hours from the report we heard. It started from 8:30 in the morning. And it did not finish. They did not finish the whole operation of kidnapping all those children until about maybe 2 in the afternoon. No single rescue was sent their way. Listen to the parents. Like distraught parents. Listen.
Please help us. We beg you in the name of God. Where is our president? Where is our governor? Please don't let them take them away from us. Please follow them to the forest and rescue our loved ones. In some families, 7 members were kidnapped. Another 5 were taken.
After receiving reports of a bandit attack on a primary and secondary school in Kaduna, Governor Obasani led a delegation to Kuriga village in Chikun local government to get first-hand information of the incident. Narrating the tragic incident to the governor, a teacher in the school says at GSS Kuriga, 187 students are presently missing, while in the primary school, 125 pupils were initially missing, but 25 returned home.
I resumed to the school today at exactly 7:47 a.m. I entered the acting principal's office and signed. All of a sudden, the acting principal asked me to look at my back, and when I turned, we discovered that bandits had surrounded the school premises. We became confused. We didn't know where to go. Then bandits asked us to enter the bush. We obeyed them. Because there were many and the pupils were about 700 were following us. So when we entered the bush, I was lucky to escape alongside many other people. So I returned to the village and reported what happened to the community. Immediately, our vigilante and personnel of Cadvis followed the bandits, but the vigilante did not succeed. In fact, the bandit killed one of the vigilante. We just buried him a while ago. It was when we came back from that pursuit that we briefed the village head and we started making efforts to know the actual number of pupils and teachers that were taken by bandits. At GSS Kuriga, 187 students are presently missing. In the primary school, 125 pupils were initially missing, but 25 of them escaped and returned home.
An emotional chief of Kuriga town laments the insecurity in the area and appeals to the governor to assist in the deployment of troops to secure lives and property. While addressing the community, Governor Obasani sympathized with the parents and families of the abducted students, although he says the figures of those abducted is still sketchy. However, he is working tirelessly to ensure that those abducted regain their freedom unhurt.
We have not been able to know the number of the children or the students that have been kidnapped. But what I can say here is that by the grace of God, under my able leadership, we will try as much as possible to ensure that every child return by the grace of God, inshallah. We are doing our best. I'm going to work with the community leaders. I want to work with the traditional rulers here, as well as the youth, to ensure that every child return back home by the grace of God.
Residents of Kuriga village troop out in their numbers to cheer the governor for coming to identify with them promptly. They also commend him for promising to build a police station in the community.
At least you heard these reports now. That gives you the full context of what it is like in that area. You see, I keep reminding you, everyone who care to listen, that Nigeria has lost it. These criminals that you have at the helms of affair in Nigeria, they do not have any clue of how to get you out of this. Because partly, they are neck deep in this entire mess. Half of northern Nigeria is no longer under Nigeria. I will keep reminding all of you that there are so many places in northern Nigeria that they have assigned as ungoverned areas. Yes, they've gazetted them unofficially though, that they have withdrawn every presence of the government of Nigeria authority in those areas. They have what? They have withdrawn them. Everybody's still there. That still thinks they are part of Nigeria. Are deluding themselves. Mind you, there are so many of them who have actually accepted their fate. They are already paying taxes for protection. They are paying taxes to the terrorists that have taken over their communities. In some places, they do not even have any presence of any police station anymore. In some areas, police stations are shutting down at 4 p.m. for security reasons, because the terrorists, before they attack any community, they will first go to the nearest police post, kill everybody on sight, burn the place down, take their guns, then head straight. So when this was happening and Nigeria was actually losing so many policemen, they started leaving those areas for the terrorists, and they called them ungoverned areas. Yes, ungoverned areas. And ungoverned areas, and like just gradually like that, many places are being ceded to the full control of the terrorists. Okay? You will read the news, or you hear that, oh, they attacked this social village. That's the least you hear from that, Abby. Oh, people have been displaced. Oh, they have now moved to a refugee camp and the rest of that. That's the least you hear. But after that, what they do is that these people commit crimes. They stay in the crime scene. Okay? In some places, they renamed, in Kaduna, this Kaduna, under El Rufaya, when they ransack village, kill people in the village, the people, those who escape, run straight to the IDP camp, refugee camps. These terrorists will take over the place, and they rename the place, appoint their own emir in Kaduna. So, Fulani terrorists came into a community government school or government school. They kidnapped, as so far so good, they said they have confirmed that 287. That teacher who said some of them, they just had to follow them with other 700 school children. 700, Baba. Imagine I'm not sure, say the Israelites we left Egypt. I'm not sure if they reach 700. I've been at 7. I don't know. Like, I can't imagine what 700 is. There are children like that. And they could be moved undetected until they moved them straight deeper into the jungle. And they kept 287 of them. The numbers of school teachers kidnapped, we don't know yet. But we've confirmed that they killed a vigilante. And 3 other school children were killed. Normally, the official report is saying one child was killed. No. 3. And that is just what we have been told so far. We do not know if there are more. The government of Nigeria is yet to say anything, but here is what Remi Werekwe had to say. Listen, just like a patient, you remember patient? I'm coming. I'm going to try and show that to you now. One sec.
Whoever is kidnapping young people is sick, cruel, and a coward. Yes. Enough is enough. And I call on the state governors that once we take hold of them, they deserve capital punishment. Why don't they take people their size? Why are they torturing our children? What they are doing is trying to kill our future. We all know parents, when we are old, we rely on our children, and we see them that our investment has not gone to waste, especially when they're successful. Why would you go and take them from schools? Why? I don't really know. But right now, I think enough is enough. As a former lawmaker, I believe that any one of them captured deserve capital punishment. Yes. I say it, and I believe most mothers would believe that. Yes. We carry them for 9 months. When you are giving back, you don't know whether you are going to live or die. Yes. And you don't watch what you love being snuffed away. I watched a lion having cubs. Just going there to look at the cubs, I see how territorial we are. You can't even touch their children. And once they know they are big enough, they can smell you, they don't want you around them. If animals can do that, what about us? So they are animals, they are evil, and then we should take them out among our midst, wherever they come from. And the state governors should do something, and the lawmakers, especially the...
You hear the mad woman? Security in Nigeria, our invalid husband, Tifnumbu, is the commander, the grand commander of the Nigeria Armed Forces. I've been waiting to call that thing. That's what they do. And it is actually an irresponsible place, led by APC, Egbekegbe. By their law, now the president, they control all the security. Whatever it tells them is what they will do. Sure you get now. However, they also say, oh, the state governors are the chief security officers of their state, which means all security is local. So therefore, let the people organize their own security and pay for it or something like that. And if they are overwhelmed, they will now bring the federal forces. That was supposed to be their law. So by that law, they now allowed the state governors to take what is called security votes. So security vote is the money that the governor can take and spend on providing security. But the governor that they allowed to take money to fund providing security, the same governor, he has no troop, a general without troop. Here you get. So what has the state governor been doing? What have they been doing? They just take the security vote, share the money, call the those who are representing Navy, representing Air Force, so military. I mean, so representing the soldiers, which is the army rather, representing the army, representing the police. They will call them to a meeting. They will even call the traditional rulers, and then they will give them peanuts. Officer, here is your own. 1.5 million naira. Yeah. 2 million. Yeah. 10 million. You. 15 million. You. 20 million. You. 3 million. So when they share the money, the governor can keep the rest. So when you now have insecurity in their state, they will now be asking the state the president or the and say, come and help us. So what they use that for is that when they pay all these people, the governor can ask the police to kidnap you for saying anything against him. He can use the army to chase all of you out of your land if he wants to take over your land. Sure, you get. So what they use, the rest of the money, he can do fuck all with it. Here you go. So people, the state governors that are taking unaccounted for security votes, they do not have any troop. They do not have any army or anything. But they have money. They were taking money that was supposed to be spent on those, providing that local security. But they are spending it. The Abuja useless, contraption headquarters. Those ones there is also about money. So then they will be like, providing security for the whole Nigeria, the budget is 5 trillion naira. And then they will buy weapons. Okay? Then the real local reason why terrorism is an industry in Nigeria will kick in, because there is no political will to do anything. So you saw Remi there. Remi pointedly removed her invalid husband, Kolu, from the whole picture. She was blaming the terrorists for kidnapping children. Why are they taking children? Boko Haram terrorists, Fulani terrorists, all their sponsors, they are inside APC, the jihadist party, Al-Qaeda People's Congress. They are inside there. They know themselves. They do not have the political will to kill the source. But they will rather continue to pretend to be trimming the branches of this evil called terrorism. Kind of, like I said, she's not even like that of Peshe, because Peshe one was like a bit more kind of look like it's real, as comical as it was. I'll show you. When the Chibok girls were kidnapped, before you had the Dapchi, before you have Kankara, before you have Kajuru, and all this other, even what's that one called again? The School of Science and whatever in Kaduna. We have had different massive school kidnappings after this one, but the first of its kind. This was Peshe's reaction. I don't know if you remember this.
Che, help us, help us. There is God, oh. There is God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh. God should descend, oh, today God will descend here. Nigerian women will not cry in vain. Nigerian women will not cry in vain. This thing will end today. My sisters, if your child lost, will you stay and keep quiet? Will you people stay and keep quiet? The presidency now is calling you, come, I want to help you. You don't want to appear. Will you agree? No. Now the first lady is calling you, come, I want to help you. Come to find your child, your missing child. Will you keep quiet? No. Child, there is God, oh. There is God, oh. The bloods we are sharing, there is God, oh. 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 It's okay.
Oh, Peshe, a lot of people mocked her. We did not know that she was somehow crying for Nigerians that these people that are sharing blood, this blood that you are sharing, APC, Egbekegbe sponsored terrorism in Nigeria for power. It got so sweeter, they did not plan for governance. They didn't plan for governance. They were propagandists. The people that can build castles, specialists who build castles in the air, they told you a lot and they gave you nothing but death. Now poverty, and on and on. When is it going to end? They do not have empathy, sympathy, or any human feeling, but to prey on you, on your weaknesses, feast on you, just like parasites. They are leeches, and they always will kill their host. APC, Egbekegbe, will break up Nigeria. And to some of us, it be like saying they are doing the Lord's work. Today, in the midst of the whole melee, Tifnumbu announced Gandola, the Babariga mobile banking CEO of Kano. Gandola, who happened now to be the chairman of APC. Egbekegbe, his son, is now the Nigeria director for the Rural Electrification Agency. That's the son. I told some of you about Bakus, social media bandits, Facebook adsmen, Buhari Deans, Buhari Diderins, Buhari Dinotus, Buhari Dijatus, Buhari Shukus, Ngozi Harris, Nneka Harris, sophisticated morons, humbled slaves, voluntary slaves, crumb eaters, crumb chasers, ass lickers, all risers, the Sai barbarians, the bat idioti, the bat starts, and the rest of your uncles and aunties abroad, the Mumu Madus, the Bele lecturers, the Mumu lecturers. I will continue to remind you that the real people that are the owners and the beneficiary of the Al-Qaeda People's Congress, APC, Egbekegbe, then they Abuja, you, they Facebook, they tell people that they will cry for 8 years. They will tears for so years. Yet you are starving, hungry. Some of you are already raving mad. At the end of the day, you will be waiting for your crumbs. The children of thieves, the children of your oppressors, after using your money, stolen money, giving their words the best education they claim, education, we don't they add anything. Of course. Why the rest of you are waiting for the police recruits, waiting for the NSEDC, civil defense, and sometimes when they would need some of you, in fact, those of you screaming, Ebim power, call who that promised you 50 million youths to recruit you into the army. Agbado, you know, see. Ewa, you know, see. All this, you know, see. In the news, you are reading their children taking over sport, not because they are qualified, just because they share the last name with the rogues that have kept you in chains. Womi Dada, I will continue to remind you. Believe me, those who claim to be the owners of Nigeria, the real Nigerians, not you, the serfs. I'm talking about the masters, your masters. Their children doesn't have to actually qualify for anything. It will always be there for them. Yes, the Agbadorians. See, I don't complain, because I don't have to. Now waiting I see how they share. You hear me? So yes, Gandola, few days ago, got a judgment from the Nigerian court that said, listen, nobody must touch him. That you saw him stuffing his agbada, is Babariga with dollars that are kickbacks from the road contract that he inflated and awarded to his pals, contractors, and the anyway, the Emilocons of this world, the Ebin powers of this world, the real owners, the real APC, those who are actually indeed benefiting from what they told you would benefit from are their children. You can watch them from far. As you are serving their fathers, their mothers, you shall serve their children. And their children are already being positioned anyway. And what would you get? 33% of you jobless, beggars, aiding power crooners, and the rest of you call you as a solution. Just pray they remember you. Nigeria is bleeding. Nigeria is dying. If you care so much about Nigeria, I want you to call on Kolu to execute this plan. Recruits.
And we are competing with armed robbers and the bandits to recruit from the youths who are unemployed. 33% unemployed. Recruit 50 million youths into the army and the other thing. Take away from their recruitment source. What they will eat? Cassava, àgbàdo, corn in the morning, yam in the afternoon. It's growing here. You create demand and consumption. For over 5 million army of boot camps. We create our food. That's money for the farmers. That's consumption for the soldiers and skill development. Don't call them illiterate. Don't talk about illiteracy. Anybody who can own gun, who can handle gun, who can cock gun and clean the chamber and cock and shoot is technically competent to repair a tractor in the farm.
That is, you can actually repair a tractor in the farm. See, on TikTok, yeah, there is, because they've told me that before. See, everybody listening, right? They've told me that before, that there are some, that if you go onto TikTok, there are actually the army of unfortunate Agbadorians there. I'm talking about the suffering and smiling sewage dwellers, okay? Who are like, Emilocon this, Emilocon that. So while I was playing that clip, right? So one of them now came and said, we know that you feed from the negativity of Nigeria. And I'm like, oh, so you actually know that your criminal leaders, they produces negativities, Abi. But what you don't care about is that negativity is not negativity. It's called bad governance. Don't call it negativity. It's called bad governance. You are horrible people, okay, who thinks they are hurting people while they are hurting themselves. You are destroying your lives. And you do not care because you think, well, what do you even have? Majority of you don't really have real lives. Let's be honest. I mean, it is not as if they have created a different economy for you that is pretty much better. So I said, if Maiyegun is feeding from the failure of your criminal leaders, is it Maiyegun that you would have to face? Or you should use your own energy. Use that energy to tell us all the good things, all of the great things, life impactful decisions and policies of APC. At least you can be hide. Nobody can hide that. Some of you have tried in the past thinking you could manufacture lies by blaming people for the criminality of the rogues, the Olori Brukus that you are attached to. And mind you, if there is anything good that people are not seeing, and you are seeing it, how about you start telling us, and you to start making money from that? I mean, I'm just saying, a lot of people would like to know the good things that APC, Egbekegbe, represents. Remember that people are not really asking for too much. No, people are not asking for too much. People are asking for equity, justice, and fairness. Fairness in dispensing justice, equity. These are what people are asking for. Majority of people just want to leave. But the criminals, successive criminals and their enablers in Nigeria, they have denied you that. Economy is in shambles. Trillions of your money have been stolen by the people that we know. But because many of you, the Abobakus, the Olori Buruku Agbadoriansi, the Dabi Mosheda, bastards, you love your criminal oppressors differently. I do not have love for them. So it is not going to be, it hasn't been easier for a lot of you. I mean, I remember they used to pay some of you to go and lie on social media. To go and, in fact, it was so rampant that you were using fake pictures, fake this, fake that, to describe non-existing projects inside Nigeria. When the whole place got fumigated, you Olori Brukus resorted into mudslinging and then, gaslighting. It never really worked. The reality is this. I'll tell you. I do not support anything that exists called establishment in that contraption. And I have been very clear with my reasons. And I've been very consistent with that. It is when you are very short sight or you are narrow-minded, blind-sighted by tribe, ethnic, religion, and every other nonsense that you think you are fighting for, while your oppressors are united and do not have any difference when it comes to all of this. You are dying. Generations are dying. Generations are being born into poverty. Generations are dying in that poverty. More generations will die in that poverty because of the selfishness of this minute few. So if you call that feeding from the negativity, I am actually encouraging the moment when this will consume you and burn you down, when the entire establishment will go down. You will go down with them. Those of you who admires it, those of you who have been enabling it. The last time I was saying something like this, I said, if anybody comes to you, any deceiver comes to you and say, pray for Nigeria. We need to pray for Nigeria. I said, if it is inside your church, remove your shoe and throw it and flung it at their face. Yes. And come around here and seek help. We will support you. So I got a message from a very darling person of mine. He wanted me to put out a sort of a caveat to say, oh, I'm not encouraging you to be violent, this or that. No, I'm not. I'm not encouraging you to be violent. Do you get that? Well, yes, remove that shoe. When they come closer to you, flung it on their face. That's not violence. That's you trying to protect your own space before you get infected by that, by the mind of an idiot that will ignore facts and be praying that his fiction should come to reality. Remove your shoes and flung it at their faces. That's not violence. Trust me. Because the point here is this. There are those who have sort of sworn to maintain the status quo on its own, that they endangers not just the lives of those ignorant ones who probably don't think, including the lives of those of us who never wanted to be part of this in any way. If we are given that choice, we know if they won't give us that choice, we will take that choice at some point. You get that? So here is the real issue. A lot of us who do not actually support or wanted to be part of any of these are victims of these too. Nobody is spared. We are watching businesses die. We are watching families torn apart. We are watching our people depreciating economically every now and then. We are watching our women, our girls being abused, assaulted in a system that gives them nothing, but pretty much would like to keep them as prices. So we're watching all of that. None of this is positive. They are all negatives. Negatives that impact in lives, and most of the time, lifetime too. We have people who are victims of kidnappings and they have been left on their own. Yes, they have been left. And in that same society, we have people who are wounded, nursing the wounds that are lifetime wounds for them. I'm talking about wound of the heart. We have them inside the same contraption. You do not come around and begin to make that look like it's nothing, simply because you are feeding from the crumbs that probably falls from there. Call us names. We will never agree or settle for the stereotype that Nigeria represents. And to those of you who are still pretty much myopic in that space, thinking this is a tribal or ethnic or religious Olympics, and you are a champion, a bigot, it's only a dumbo, an idiot. We'll be proud in bigotry as we speak when everyone is actually receiving the badge. Everyone is receiving the bite of the failures of these criminals. And nobody should beat you and tell you how to cry. Nobody should. So if you are lucky today and you are defending Tifnumbu, you won't be the first. If you are lucky enough that you are here today, you are defending APC, Egbekegbe, you will not be the first and you won't be the last. We have seen a lot before you. We will see more after you. But do you know something? We are all going to witness and watch how these criminals will finally make the dreams of people like us come true. And people like you, probably you will die heartbroken because you will see Nigeria break up. And it's not because you want it. I mean, you don't want it or because I want it. Just pay attention. There are things happening that you probably think they shouldn't be exposed or said or something. But they are happening anyway. They are happening. So whether you are for them or you are against them, the ideal thing is to know what is going on now. No amount of finger pointing, blame passing, blame game that is going to actually change the failure, the divisive, jihadist, kleptomania group of criminals called APC, and their enablers. They spell doom, destruction. You are seeing that every day, but something still tells you that maybe it's not what you think. It is what you think. Nigeria is at war with itself. Nigerians are at war with themselves. You are so dishonest that you cannot own it. Irresponsible to take responsibility. Nigeria is tearing apart. You do not have government. You do not have anyone who is patriotic to that place. There is nobody who really loves that place. You can continue to lie to yourselves. Make yourself feel like there's something to say, something still left to hold on to. It would have been a beautiful place if there is equity, fairness, justice. You have a place where you call one Nigeria. There is no country called one country anywhere in the world, even when they speak the same language, right? There's no one America. There is no one Britain. There is no one this, one that. Those are passive political statements made by politicians who mean nothing. Out of everything they say, they do not mean anything they say, right? But you do have a place where you tell yourselves, Muslims can lead their Christians. Christians can lead Muslims without suspicion. You suspect yourself. We suspect ourselves. We suspect ourselves every given opportunity. You could tell in so many areas, we just couldn't wait to kill ourselves. Killings, massacre, genocide. Come on, man. Ethnic cleansing. There seems to be a thing that even those who are educated will confidently justify them and tell you, yeah, now they are the ones. It has been like that for many years. Are you mad? How could that be normal? How could that not be discussed? How should that? You see, the reason why you have all these criminals succeeding so far and doing all of this is simply because none of them has any loyalty to that contraption. None. Nigeria is just their meal ticket. And as for you, you are just a fair game. You're just a fair game, a pawn on their chess table. And you should know it. You fighting me or thinking you are defending Nigeria, you are just stupid. You have no idea. If you are somebody who think, the only disagreement you have with me is because I am telling you that for the sake of all of us, Nigeria should break up peacefully. I'm not asking for war.